Alright, so let me just test out the volume as usual. Alright, so let me just test out the volume as usual. Good. Now let's get started. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with the monthly to see if there's anything I can draw confluence with, right? And then I usually spend quite a bit of time on the weekly to determine the current narrative if it is not obvious, okay? Because ICT mentions that weekly chart is the key, okay? Because when you're scalping intraday or when you're trading one shot one kills throughout the week, basically you're going to be focused on the weekly power of three, right? So right now we are heading into the fourth week of October. Okay, so basically we have manipulation on the second week and distribution on the third. Because we have higher time frame levels that have yet to be taken, right? So I am going to lean towards that bias that we're going to go down to this lows here, clean out the sell stops. Okay, so depending on how the price trades, for the first half of next week. Okay, so let's say if it takes out this lows in the first half of next week, then we might get some form of a retracement to end the month. Okay, so think of it in monthly power of three. Okay, so we got that Judas swing, monthly open is right here, Judas swing, and then we're gonna close near the low, but um, it wouldn't be um, seldom you'll see that price closing at the exact low, like let's say for this candle right here. Okay, so usually you see some form of a retracement, right? And that is what I'm anticipating for the fourth week of October. So preferably, what I would prefer is it leaves the lows, leaves the lows here intact for the second half of the week. Okay, so maybe you get like an accumulation Monday, and then manipulation Tuesday, distribution Wednesday, continuation Thursday, and then TGIF Friday. So that is what I am anticipating it, or that is what I would like to see it happen in the perfect world scenario. But of course, you must factor in that right now we are in quite an uncertain time whereby there are lots of things happening globally, and that could affect the delivery, in terms of smooth delivery for the indices. So you're gonna not expect um, easy market conditions or um, basically high probability conditions, right? So the best case scenario is what I have just outlined. Okay, so let's say if it takes out the lows here on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, which means the first half of the week, then I might anticipate a retracement back into this weekly range, and then we'll see if it wants to distribute further to the downside. Okay, because the fourth week, based on days quarterly theory, it's usually a retracement or a consolidation, right? And for reversals, you will need really important key levels on the higher time frames, which I don't think this is a point of reversal. Okay, Similar to ES here, I think it's gonna accelerate down into these lows here. They are relatively equal, and basically, if you move the chart to the left a little bit, you will see that there is a fair value gap right here. So it might just come into this fair value gap, right? So in terms of likelihood, we are most likely going to continue lower. Okay, and if that's the case, then I would prefer the first scenario to play out, right? And with this, obviously I am bearish next week. So bearish to take out the lows here minimum, and then I want to see if we can overextend down to this volume imbalance for Nasdaq, and this lows and this fair value gap for ES. Okay, so heading over into the weekly chart, I mean the daily chart. Okay, right here is the accumulation, and I think we're gonna see speed um to take out the lows here, so which means we are not gonna anticipate a retracement up into this area here. Okay, the reason being why price the likelihood of price returning back into this CB and then selling off is very unlikely, is because this right here is a balanced price range. Okay, so if you really want to force a retracement, okay, what I would do is I would take the high and the low of this consolidation right here, 50%. Okay, that would be the maximum that it's going to reach into, and then it's going to break down. So I don't really expect this gap to fill, but this is in a perfect world scenario. Okay, and at the same time, it has already reacted off a weekly level here. So basically, I'm going to use this volume imbalance, right, to highlight it to you what I am referring to. Okay, so this volume imbalance was utilized to send the price higher, taking out some buy stops, right? So therefore, trading below it, and you can see right here, even though we have failed to tag it and then go lower, okay, this is a really nice indication of bearishness, right? Okay, so of course, if it ever comes back into this area, that would be the perfect opportunity for shorts. But because we're that close to this lows here, I don't think it's gonna come back. Okay, so this is the weekly, I mean the daily chart for Nasdaq, and for ES, it's the same thing actually, right? If you just look at this fair value gap here, this by itself is a balanced price range. So I'm expecting it to come to, I mean, the highest would be the consequent encroachment of this BPR, and then it's going to sell off if the lows have yet to be taken. Okay, so I do not expect this daily CB to fill, right? So there you go. And the relative equal lows that I'm referring to just now on the weekly time frame was this lows here. Okay, so that would be my weekly objective heading into next week. And at the same time, next week is the fourth week of October. So we might get, some consultations, and it's better not to push too hard. Okay. After all, the main distribution here has already been almost completed. All right. Left the lows here. Once the low is taken out, that will be fully completed, and then in my opinion, I think it's best to wait for November, okay, where we will have another monthly power of three, okay, to work with. Right, so heading down into the 6 hour time frame, you can also see that this right here is a BPR. So there's lots of resistance going higher above this highs here. Okay, this high is basically the daily CB. Okay, so right here as well, we have this inversion fair value gap here. Okay, so I'm just gonna extend it so that you can have a look. Look at this candle's high. So that's the reason why I am not anticipating a run into that daily CB before lower price and before taking out this lows here. All right, look at this high here, and at the same time there is no fair value gaps here. The only confluence with that daily CB would be this swing high. Okay, of course we do have relative equal highs here for for NQ, but it could be left for next month. Okay, so we shall see how it plays out. Okay, so 6 hours, we have the levels here, and then let's head over into that 1 hour. Okay, before that, let me just mark out the objectives. Okay, for this, that will be here, and for this, for ES, it will be this swing low here. All right, so if you are familiar with Trader Dexter's work, right, you can use the fibs for projections. All right, okay, the last swing high and then the low that made the last swing high, okay, and then you project it out. Because Nasdaq is closing below 2.5, I believe it's gonna go into standard deviation -4. That could be your final objective, right? If the lows are taken and then it's gonna continue spiral down lower, you can look at this area, -4 and -5 within these areas. Okay, you can look for a target, right? But basically, for me personally, I would be targeting -4 next week. Okay, that this would be the maximum. Um, how do you put it? Maximum target objective for next week. Okay, and I am expecting a sort of a TGIF in terms of weekly. I mean, no, in terms of the monthly power of three. Okay, so maybe okay, what I'm expecting is coming down into this levels here is going to offer some sort of a retracement into 50% of the entire range down. Okay, that will be right around here, right? So 14290, that will be, yep, 14390, sorry, 390. Yep, so that will be right around here. That would fall in line nicely with the daily CB for next month's objective. Okay, so let's not get too ahead of ourselves first, but -4, that will be my target for Nasdaq, and right here ES -4, that will be my target as well. Okay, now hold on a second, I'm gonna leave this here. So heading down lower, okay, obviously right here I'm going to treat this as a bearish order block, and then we are gonna trade lower, which means on a 1 hour time frame there is this fair value gap. Okay, there's this fair value gap for both NASDAQ and ES. I am anticipating a bump up into this area here and then sell off into that external liquidity. Okay, so once it takes out that external liquidity, I want to see if there's any form of consolidation first. That would be perfect for continuation. All right, so that would be a nice bear flag. I mean, if you're using retail logic, nice bear flag formation down. All right, and we're gonna reach into fourth standard deviation, and then after that, we're gonna retrace a little bit. Okay, so because Sunday's opening price has not yet been, obviously, market has not opened, so take this with a grain of salt. Okay, right. So that's for the analysis for indices. Let's head over to DXY. Okay, so DXY weekly. So obviously I'm looking for this swing high to be taken and this gap to be filled. Okay, meaning gap by the fair value gap that has been left open. All right, I'm expecting it to fill, and obviously I'm gonna anticipate it to disrespect this fair value gap here and turn it into an inversion for the highs at, I mean, not for this month, but in the higher time frame objective. Okay, 1 to 1, that is my objective. So for this month, end of this month, I believe we're just going to tag this high here. Okay, I believe that's going to be the objective for this month, and then some sort of a retracement. On the daily time frame, we have quite a contradicting analysis here. Okay, because it's spending a little bit too long inside this daily BC as I would have liked. Okay, in the whole of this week, it has been a consolidation within, I mean, below and above this fair value gap. So because I am anticipating this high here, I was expecting this quarter to be distribution. Okay, but since we did not get that and we are still closing above the consequent encroachment of this daily BC, I am assuming that DXY it's going to do a distribution in Q4. Okay, so right here Q1 was accumulation, Q2 manipulation below the lows, right? And then Q3 entered, let's just say you entered this on a lower time frame. Technically you want to see price play out within Q3. Okay, and when price this, I mean, did not do so, it's a warning sign that it might want to retrace a little bit further before moving to its objectives. Okay, but let's see how this week's play out. Let's see how this week play out. Okay, for the dollar, I'm still anticipating bullishness for dollar, and Q4 should be the distribution. Right, that would be the analysis for dollar. Okay, and let's move on into HSI. So far, HSI has been quite a um, lackluster price action moving lower. Okay, so it's like a slow grind lower. Okay, this is not what I would like to see, but still it's going to meet the first objective soon. Okay, for HSI, because I am bearish, I want to see speed below this low here and then price closing below this bullish fair value gap. Okay, I want to see price close below here. As long as price is willing to close below this fair value gap, then I'll be looking at this low here and this level right here. Clear? This is for HSI. Okay, so we have a accumulation profile in Q2 due to an expansion profile in Q1. So we have a stop hunt in Q3, hunting the stops of Q2 and then distributing lower. So this final quarter here should see distribution to the downside in a rather speedy manner. Which I mean, with speed, okay, with speed. That is what I'm anticipating for HSI. Okay, right. Moving on, let's cover a little bit of individual stocks. Let's see, Tesla. I'll just cover like maybe three to four. Okay, so unable to take out the highs here for Tesla, reached into 2.5 this range here, right? That would be the manipulation if the lows here are going to be tagged. Okay, so it has finally shifted bearish, breaking market structures here and here. So what I'm anticipating is, okay, if this breaker does not hold, Tesla is going to attack this low here, and because I'm bearish on the index, the Nasdaq, I would like to see speed below this low into this low, and obviously into this volume balance right here. Okay, but that's too far away, so we shall see how the price plays out. So because right now at this point in time it has not closed below this BPR, so it might just want to do a stop hunt, right? And then run for this highs and then lower. But let's see. Okay, it's too in my opinion this is low probability. Okay, so I'm not gonna comment too much about Tesla. Okay, so let's take a look at Disney. Right, so for Disney came right all the way back into this bearish order block here, rejected again, taking out these stops. So the next few weeks should be low resistance liquidity runs to my objective here at 74. Hi, welcome. BM. I can only see your name as BM. Okay. So this is for Disney. Okay, and let's take a look at gold. It's been quite a while since I took a look at it. Okay, so for gold, right? If you are interested in a deep dive analysis on why these lows were left, you can check out Real Weird Gene. That is his Twitter handle. Right, he goes deep dive into why the lows are left and why has gold rallied. Okay, but yeah, I think he does a better job at this. So for gold, right, if you just use that standard deviation above these highs, that would be -4 right here, 2180. Okay, so that would be the objective if it starts to trade above this highs here, right? So that is for gold. Okay, moving on, we have, what do you call that? Um, Oil. Let's take a look at oil. US oil. Right, still the same. Nothing much has changed. Um, 10-year Treasury yield. Let's take a look at that. Where is it? Is it this one? Yep, this one. 10-year Treasury yield. Yep, it's moving nicely towards the 5.555 objective. Okay, let's take a look at the bonds. Right, so it has met the targets here. So the next target obviously would be this equal lows down here. Okay, bonds are really bearish. Okay, right. Let's take a look at Nvidia. Right, so far so good. It's performing as anticipated. Right, I gave the highs here. Um, I'm not sure how many weeks back. So how was this high met? It was basically using Trader Dexter's standard deviation projections, similar. I mean the same projections that I'm using it for the indices futures. Okay, so playing out really well. I am expecting this low to be taken out, and then this low as well down into this old high, and then we shall see if it wants to, um, do some rebound or just crash all the way. Because on the run up, it was really fast. Okay, so as fast as it goes up, it's going to come down with the same speed due to the amount of inefficiencies that are left open. Okay, so if you just take a look at the monthly chart, it's only up green candles, and there's lots of inefficiencies below that the price can reach into. Right, obviously right here is the breaker, which is why I'm expecting some form of a retracement once we tag the old high. Okay, why is this a breaker? Low, high, lower low. Okay, so this right here is the breaker with a fair value gap, right? So that is for Nvidia. Okay, I'm gonna cover two more or maybe three more Chinese companies that I'm looking at, and then I'm gonna end the stream. So Baba performing really nicely here, respecting this propulsion order block, as I've mentioned weeks ago. So because I'm bearish, similar to HSI, I want speed below this low here. Okay, I want to see speed, and speed, I want to see it extend all the way, closing the month. Best case scenario, okay, closing the month below the consequent encroachment, not consequent encroachment, sorry, but the mean threshold of this bullish on the block. Okay, closing below 72, that would be perfect. All right, closing the month below 72. Okay, that would be perfect. It's either this month or next month. That is what I want to see. Okay, for validation down into this low here that I've been looking at for quite a while. So that would be the validation that price is going to attack this lows here with speed. Okay, closing any monthly close below this 72.08, that would indicate that we are bearish. I mean, we're gonna extend down here very quickly. Okay, that is what I'm anticipating for Baba. All right, and JD. Let's take a look at JD. JD so far has been playing out really nicely as compared to Baba and HSI. Okay, so JD right here. Let's go back to the monthly. I was looking at this level here to see if price wants to respect this level. But since it did not do so, and it's probably going to close below this BPR right here, which is why I am looking at this lows here. Okay, they are relatively equal, and right below these lows are sell stops. So price is going to attack this lows here. Okay, right now it's looking like it's going. I mean, it's looking like it's validating this, but I still have to wait for the monthly closure of this candle here. Right, as long as we close below this BPR, we are ultra bearish on. I mean, I am ultra bearish on JD. Okay, right. So two levels have been met. Right now, we just wait to see price discovery to the downside. Okay, so how far can JD go? Hi, Soul Rack. Hi. So how far can JD go? Let me just take a look. Okay. I like I mean if the projections is gonna play out, it's gonna go to 10, right? Because why? We have closed below 2.5 right here. Okay, closing below 2.5. And you see how beautiful the price reaction was at these levels here. -1 to -1.5, and then that would be the silver bullet trade down all the way down to the sell stops and whatever. So best case scenario, JD goes to $10. Okay, that would be the best case scenario, right? So JD here, ultra bearish. Okay, lastly, let's me take a look at 10 cent. 10 cent of TC. Right, I hope that video helped. I hope you found what you're looking for. Right, if you think that there is anything I can improve on in terms of delivery, you can let me know. Okay, you can leave your feedbacks. Right. Of course, I still am utilizing Day's quarterly theory. It is very useful in terms of refinements for ICT concepts, right? So if you have like a good ICT concept base, okay, and you use Day's quarterly theory as a refinement, okay, it's not an entirely new theory, in terms of like a new concept, but it's a refinement and a supplement to ICT. If you use it like that, it's going to help you a lot in terms of your entries and your exits. I find that really, really helpful. Okay, and I have to give the credits to Day. Okay, Trader Day. Credits are all to him. I see. So, yeah, take your time to finish it, and if you have any feedbacks, do let me know. Okay, so for 10 cent, I am looking at this lows here for 10 cent. Okay, on the monthly, I like how it is trading below here. We have taken out buy stops here. So trading below this low, I want to see continued bearishness, right? The dealing range from this low to this high here, we are right below 50%. I want to see speed into the low here. The lows here. Okay, because we are 50%. We are below 50%. So I want to see speed. Okay, so this theory right here, okay, this concept is derived from Fair Value God. That is his Twitter handle, and I believe he has a YouTube channel as well. Um, I featured his channel in my channels section, so you can find all my mentors, right? The people that I learned from, they're all under my featured channels. Okay, right. So I'm looking at $23 for 10 cent, right? This right here, to me, it's proportional block. So I don't want to see any closing price above the mean threshold of these two order blocks combined. Okay, 43.12. I don't want to see any closing price on the monthly candle above 43. Okay, that would validate the shorts. And I want to see strong reactions like this, okay, right at the opening price. I want to see strong reactions of this proportional block, okay, into the lowest here and eventually this lowest here. How far can Tencent trade to? How low? Okay, right now, right, I just want to be a little bit conservative, so I'm gonna just aim for 1.5, okay, because at $2 is a little bit too far-fetched, but we shall see if that happens, right? And if everything that they is anticipating is gonna play out, this is not very surprising to see. Okay, $2. It won't be very surprising to see, right? Maybe even it gets delisted before it even reach these levels here, just like Twitter. Okay, so right here I'm gonna end my um, session, and of course, if you find this helpful, wait, let me just cover one more thing on the higher time frames. Okay, where is the macro charts? Is it here? Let's see if it's here. No, it's not. Mm, Let me find that. It's in the base. I want to cover something on the macro time frame, higher time frame indices. Let me just find it. I believe I saved it. Just not sure which template. 3 months, sorry, ES, NQ and ES. NQ. Yes. Yes, this is what I'm looking for. Okay. So let's start off with NQ first. In a grand scheme of things, okay, because I'm using a 3 month chart, okay, in a grand scheme of things, I am bullish on indices, okay, on the grand scheme of things, okay, as long as it does not close below this level here. Consequent encroachment of this wick, okay, 12624.25. As long as it does not close below here, I am not bearish super long term. I'm still bullish on indices. Okay. What I'm expecting is, due to the events that are unfolding in the world right now, it's going to drive the price down into this level here, and maybe even here. And then we're going to see some rebounds taking out the high. Okay, that is what I'm anticipating. Why is that so? Okay, because this right here is a implied fair value gap. So ICT has taught this in a brief moment. I think many would have would have forgotten about it, but this is an implied fair value gap. So as long as price is above this consequent encroachment of the wick on a 3 month candle time frame, I am bullish on the higher time frames. Okay, but of course it's gonna play. It's gonna take a long time for this to play out. Okay, so I believe Nasdaq is gonna tag this level here, and we're gonna take out the highs. We're gonna make new all-time highs. Okay, for Nasdaq. For ES, same thing. As long as price is not below here, it's not closing below here, it can wick through it into this volume imbalance here. Okay, it can wick through, but I do not want to see a candle closing below this level here, 4054.75. Okay, as long as it does not do that, I am bullish on ES. Okay, if you use the fibs, right, same thing here, projections on the higher time frames, we are trading above negative 2.5. Okay, price came back down into this level here, right? We have this fair value gap, we have this other block, and then it reacted very nicely off this level. So I am anticipating negative 4 to be reached in the future. Okay, if there is no manual intervention. Okay, this is how price is going to go if there is no manual intervention, right? As long as price is above this level here, I am looking at this level here. Okay, so for Nasdaq it's the same thing. So Nasdaq, I'm using this as the projections, the last stop hunt, right? Right here, the last stop hunt before this move up, without even taking out this low. Okay, this move up here. Okay, so we are above 2.5 as well, and it traded down all the way into that silver bullet, 1 to 1.5. Yes, I have already went through the XY. So right here, silver bullet, fair value gap, you see this strong reaction here. So what I'm anticipating for Nasdaq is right here, but it's gonna take a while because this is a 3 month chart. Okay, so I am still bullish on the super higher time frame barring any manual interventions. Okay, let me repeat that. Barring any manual interventions. Okay, any price closure below this wick here, I'm gonna look for sell stops on the way down. Okay, on the higher time frames, right? And I think with this, I'm gonna close this session. Right. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you find it helpful, insightful, learn anything from this, do leave a like. And if you have any comments or any questions, I mean, you can leave them in the comment section down below. I will read them and I will reply them in either text or video format. Okay, and I'll see you again in the next session. Good luck trading next week.